Welcome back, everyone, to more of our gameplay series of X4 Foundations. It's almost like this guy heard me start talking there as he looked up in our direction. So we are currently standing in one of my absolute favorite places in this universe, and that is the Talati Trade Center. I absolutely love it. Of course, we'll get a chance to see it here in a moment, but here is a view of it. You can see ships landing and taking off in 360 degrees, and it is absolutely breathtaking when you come here for the first time. And for me, I enjoy coming here every time. But today, we have a very special reason for being here. We have just received our plus 20 promotion with the Talati. Now, normally in a gameplay, the Talati are the first faction that I reach a plus 10 faction relation, as well as the plus 20. However, this time, things were a little bit different for reasons that we've talked about before. So let's actually hop in and take a look at that reputation real quick, and then we'll discuss some of the other things that have happened since we were last together. So you notice our faction relations have definitely improved since we were last together. Antigone Republic and Argon, very close to that 20 range right now, particularly Argon. We are right on the cusp of it there. Now, the Paranid and the HOP are a little bit further behind. Still very nice, but they don't quite have the presence as far as trading goes for me. And I hadn't really unveiled all of their stations up until very recently, so they should start coming on here a little bit more now. But each of these had 3 or 4 sectors that I had not uncovered because I wanted to focus on some of the other areas, such as Antigone Republic and Argon, for example. And then some of the others, such as Hatikva, Ministry of Finance, they simply have a smaller presence in the universe, so it takes a little bit longer unless you really focus on the goods that they deal with most. But then we get down to the bottom. As I mentioned, Talati is usually the faction that I build reputation with first and the quickest, simply because they have such a huge presence, particularly in the trading side of things. But here, because of all of the mining that we did exclusively with the Pioneers and the Protectorate early on, we actually got to plus 20 with both of them first. So we have now reached the maximum that we can get with these guys. Now, our reputation will continue going up, but we now have access to everything that they're willing to share. And notice how I phrased that, because particularly with the Terran Protectorate, they don't share all of their knowledge. There are still a few ships that you can't build with the Terran Protectorate. They won't give you access to those. They keep those to themselves. And as far as I know, they are the only group that does that. But that's perfectly fine with me. Now we can go anywhere we want in Terran space, and that includes to the moon and Earth, which were strictly off limits until now. But we have a lot going on. You notice in the top left-hand corner, we're at 137 million. Now, yes, quite a bit of time has passed. Several hours have passed since we were last together because there were some things I wanted to get done. One of them was I wanted to reach plus 20 with multiple of these groups because that unlocks the last little bit of blueprints and knowledge that they have so that we can now have whatever we need to continue building our empire. Also, I wanted to make sure we had plenty of money because this is where we can start looking at building our own wharf. Now, yes, we're going to need the blueprint for that, which is extremely expensive, and we'll see that momentarily because we're here not just to receive a promotion from the Talati, but I also need to buy some blueprints. So we're not quite ready for the wharf, but we are extremely close. Blueprints are very expensive, especially at this point now that we're going to start buying bigger and bigger blueprints that are more and more expensive. So let's actually hop out and let's take a look at, okay, which blueprints do we need? And to do that, we're going to need to come into the map, and I'm actually going to bring up just our stations. Let's just focus on the stations, and I'm going to zoom out and take us back over to our home here in Silent Witness. And, oh, this guy. We have had quite a bit of trouble out of the SCA with these raiders, or the pillagers. So what I have done is I have taken some of our guys and I have stationed them right over here, and they will attack any enemies. In fact, this guy is probably... Yep, that should trigger him momentarily, because it looks like this... Yep, this guy is going to want to attack, so that guy should wake up and take care of him momentarily. At least he better. Because if he doesn't, I'm going to be very upset. And then we have the same thing over here. And I've had these guys hanging out near the jump gates and the accelerators because that's generally where they're coming in and out of the area. Okay, this guy over here is going to drive me nuts. Why are you not coming over here and getting this guy? This doesn't make sense to me. And that's another thing I've been having is quite a bit of issue with the AI at different points. They've done some things that just simply don't make any sense at all to me. Things that make me wonder why the developers shipped a game with this kind of behavior. And this is one of those. Now, granted, he hasn't done a whole lot of damage here yet to one of our AI that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But can we get this guy? All right, I give up. I give up. Big guy, I'm going to need you to actually do the very job that I gave you, and which is he's supposed to attack targets in range. However, if you'll notice, he's not actually doing anything. So let's go ahead and remove his orders, and let's tell him to attack manually. Now you can see our ship just took off there, and he may go with him. And if he does, then we got a guy on the other end that should take care of him. Again, emphasis on should. All right, so let's see what happens right here. In fact, let's go ahead and teleport over. Can we teleport? Oh, it's too far away. Okay, we're over here in Talati space, so we are a good distance, but I was hoping we might be able to get by with it. All right, so this gives us a chance. We're going to see how this turns out. Now, the fighting behavior leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. I don't understand most of what they do when they are dogfighting. And of course, you can see these guys are in no particular hurry. I know they're slower, but they seem to be in no particular hurry about getting there. They're just like, oh, well, maybe we'll get there later. Maybe we won't. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, can you tell? That gets on my nerves because some of this just doesn't make any sense. However, we'll leave them to it because otherwise it's just going to aggravate me to no end. So if we come back over, here are our current stations. So remember, we are building from the ground up. We started out with an energy cell factory. It is now fully completed and dishing out energy cells left and right. We then got into refined metals because refined metals is the step before whole parts, which are always in need. You cannot have too many whole parts in this universe. So we have our very first whole parts factory and refined metals factory. So we should be in very good shape. I can't stand it. I have to come back over here and look. All right, these guys are still like, yeah, we'll get there eventually. This one guy apparently was the only one that wanted to be helpful. Okay, I'm off of it again. I'm back over. So let's take a quick look at the whole parts factory. Let's actually go under plan build so that we can actually see what it looks like. Again, we've got a huge area here to build.
Awaiting orders.
For right now, okay, apparently they took care of him because they're now awaiting new orders over there. Okay, so they got it done. Maybe not to my liking, but they got there. So right now, you can see that this guy has a couple of the whole part production modules already done, but they've got a lot left to go. So here in this particular blueprint, I have 10 production modules for whole parts, and you can see we have so much room for expansion. We also have hidden around on the bottom here graphene production, which is also needed, as well as the refined metals for production. So my goal is to continue expanding this as needed, and that's the same thing with all of our factories. We got plenty more factories that I have planned, but for right now, this is certainly getting the job done. And here on this screen, we can very quickly see where we are on production. Obviously, we have enough materials to get a little bit done. And then if we're wondering, okay, how close are we to having materials needed for all of it? Well, then we simply come in to resources needed to complete changes. And you can see where we are. Claytronics, we need some more of those. It looks like, let's see, we're almost done with fuel coils. And this number in green here simply means that these are on the way. The trade has been initiated, but they aren't quite here yet to complete it. And then you can see hull parts. We have, wow, we got a bunch on the way. And then you scroll down a little bit and you get to see who's bringing them and where they are. And yeah, our supply traders, I mentioned those before. They are maybe my favorite mod for this. The supply traders do an amazing job of getting exactly what we need. In fact, if I just leave them alone, they will take care of everything. We now have, I think, 9 of them left. I say left because one of them got destroyed by one of the pillagers in the area. But otherwise, things are going amazingly well. So let's talk a little bit about our next station and what we might be interested in. Well, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need defense stations, and we're going to need administrative centers, and we're going to need things like engine parts and so forth. So those are the types of things we're going to be purchasing, and it's going to take a lot of credits. All right, so let's hop back out, actually completely out of this. But before I do that, let me go ahead and you can see this guy is left behind. We now have salvage operations. That's a new thing for X4 as of the 5.0 beta. So we now have that ability, and I believe it's going to play a huge part in the upcoming Tides of Avarice. I don't know for sure because I know basically nothing about the storyline for that DLC, but I do know enough to know that I believe that is a big part of it. So let's talk about salvage. So if we come over to the HQ, I decided to make it also my salvage center. So if we hop in to plan build, now by default, you have this entire module here called the research module. And then I also added, once we needed to do research, instead of just having the dock here, I added some more container storage, solid storage, and now a couple of additional container storage because you need a few things when you're going to have a salvage operation. So if we zoom in here a little bit closer, right here are the areas. These scrap processors are where your tugboats, or in this case the Manticore, are going to bring the ships. They're going to deposit them right here. Those will be processed and then sent to the scrap recycler, which will turn them into much more useful products. And to see that, we'll bring up the station overview. And here you can see that we need energy cells. Of course we do. And right now you can see we've got plenty of these on the way. And again, in green, well, that's our faction color. So that's how you know those are ours. And so they're on their way to take care of those. Those are dedicated energy cell traders, by the way. That's why I have them named that way. So energy cells, and then scrap metal will be brought in, but not until you have energy cells. So you can have the processor, you can have the recycler. It won't do you any good unless you have the energy cells here. In fact, if we hop back out, let's find one of our, we've got a, that's a big boy there. We might want to leave him alone. That's a large vessel. He would probably torch us unless we team up on him. All right, so let's see if we can find one of our recycling ships. He should be, yeah, there we go. Here's a couple of them. In fact, you can see this guy right here is towing behind something with him. This guy also towing behind him. So essentially what they're doing is they are waiting for this guy, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the HQ to get energy cells so that they can make some things happen. And as soon as they get the energy cells, these guys will hop over to the HQ, unload the salvage, and we will be in business. So we'll have claytronics and hull parts from that salvage. So much happening. Now can you understand why the main story missions, or what I'm calling the main story missions, really don't appeal to me all that much? It's because there's so much going on in this universe that I want to do that the main story, I basically forget about it. All right, this guy's fixing to come right into our space. I feel it. And if he does that, let's go ahead and grab these guys over here. All right, let's go ahead and grab you. And we're going to put you right over here and say attack objects in space. Let's see if that's actually going to work. Alright, because I would prefer they leave this guy alone. Because like I said, he would probably torch us pretty good unless we gang up on him. And I'm not sure. The good thing is he's by himself.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, so I tell you what. Let's go ahead and have a little fun. And we're going to attack this dude. Not just yet, but we are going to prepare for an attack. Because he's just going to be floating around and probably being a menace until we do. So let's see where he heads right here. A lot of times they will head right over to one of my factories. Yeah, that's a Talati model. I can see by the mushroom design there. And they just sit there and they wait for traders, which in this case happens to be one of ours. So let's just go ahead and let's do it. Let's just go ahead and attack. This could very easily go very bad. Can we not? Oh, it's not a repeatable order. Okay, game. Thank you so much for not allowing me to do anything that I want to do. I so appreciate that. All right.
Awaiting orders.
All right. Yes, you are awaiting orders. What about you? Because I don't want to go through the same thing with you too. Okay, you're not doing anything right now, which is perfect. All right, let's grab both of these and say you go attack. Now, I wish that we could get in on this battle. Unfortunately, we're a little bit too far away. So let's see what happens. We have a total of 4 medium ships and about, how many? 9 fighters. Now, the fighters are likely to get torched very quickly. But again, let's just see what happens. We are not in system. And of course, these guys, what are they doing? Well, that's actually an excellent question. An excellent question, I grant you. And this also gives you an idea of some of my what in the world is happening type moments in this game. Those guys decided, oh, we're going to attack. So they went all the way over there, passed the guy by, and then decided, you know what? Maybe we should probably go back to him. So here we go. Everybody else stand still. We're going to let these guys get here. Yeah, this is just not my favorite part of the game. This is why I avoid it so much. But every once in a while, it can be fun to have a battle, even if, well, we lose. So let's see what happens. All right, again, we don't quite have the research. I'm actually going to pop in and show you guys the research. We've gotten the first 2 done. We can go within 3 systems now. The next one, we need some more items before we can be done there, and then we can go up to 5 systems. All right, looks like we just got another option for a promotion. The good news is, yeah, all of these guys, I'm going to need you guys to really hang back and not be productive at all. That's what I'm going to need you to do. That would be great if you could do that. And by the way, these guys I'm talking to here are the fastest ones I have in the fleet. The medium ships are the fastest ones. So it makes a lot of sense that they would be the last ones there. All right, so are we about to lose everything? I believe the answer to that could very easily be yes. Particularly if we decide to attack one at a time. Or a few at a time. But yeah, this guy, quite honestly, should take us out pretty easily, I would think. But again, we shall see. All right, you can already see that some damage is being done. Now, the blue you see is, that's the shield. And then when you get down to this brighter green, that's your hull. Now, once the hull's gone, you explode. So that's not a great thing. So let's just go ahead and pound this guy with everybody coming. If you guys, I don't know if maybe you're on lunch or something, but if you guys could just, you know, join in whenever you have a moment. If you have a moment. Maybe you're just hanging out, I guess. Just hanging out, just watching the view probably. Especially this guy back here. He's decided this really isn't the life he wanted, so. All right, so we are making some inroads here. And you notice that these guys will sort of strafe in and out. They'll move in and out. And they're trying to avoid taking too much damage. at any given time. All right, so this guy has put down a tower, which is going to help him out some. We'll see how much. It definitely should be helpful against the fighters. But again, I don't understand why these guys hang back so much. But we're going to find out how this turns out. We're doing great, honestly, quite a bit better than I thought we might do. Simply because I don't have a whole lot of faith in the AI for this. All right, so this guy, how far away does he go? That's what I need to know. Okay, he didn't go very far. He just let his shields recharge a little bit. And now he's going. As I notice, we really don't have anybody in too much danger. So the AI is doing better. I like it. I like it. All right, so now we've got this guy in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. He's dropping towers, which is a great move for him. But, yeah. This is... Now, in the future, I promise, we're going to have some battles where we'll actually be on board and we'll get to see those. But for right now, this one just so happened to be bad timing because we are in a very different part of the system. All right, so this guy, did he drop another one? Nope, I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to try to sort of hunker down in the middle here and start dropping them around him. But it looks like this guy is done for. If we can just keep on him and not let his shields start to regenerate, then we've got him right here. Unfortunately, we can't salvage him. He's too big. All right, so he dropped some things. I'm going to ignore those.
Orders.
And the reason I'm going to ignore those, actually, let's go ahead and... That. Let's go ahead and attack all of these because I do not want any of this stuff remaining around. Okay. Woo! An impromptu battle that thankfully we came out on the good side of, and we didn't lose a single ship. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so let's talk to the faction rep. Sorry, guy, I didn't mean to just take up your office space here. I promise that wasn't the plan. So let's buy a blueprint. Actually, let's buy a few. So let's go modules. What do we need? Well, we're going to need some equipment. We're going to need actually a whole bunch of stuff now that I think about it. All right, defense modules. We want the administrative center. This is how we claim sectors. And the way you claim a sector is to simply have more administrative centers in that sector than any other faction. Now, in this case, one will do it since we're in a sector that is not claimed by one of the major factions. We're also going to get the bridge, defense platform, and the disc. This is where we can place both shields and turrets for defense as needed. And we're going to place probably several of those down because I really want to take care of this pirate operation as best I can and keep our ships safe. So we're going to put several of those down. And, hey, I just enjoy building these things. All right, we also want habitation modules. So in a couple of places, we're going to need some additional help in building. It's not all automated. And I believe it's the medium we want. You can see that's 14 million. All right, so let's go ahead and confirm that. And I'm actually going to come out here. It looks like these guys are about done with this. So let's actually go ahead and put down a new plot. So let's go ahead. This new plot, we might as well make it a 5x5. Let's just go ahead and do that. So it's a 5x5. The 2 is in the Y direction, which is up and down, as if they were really up and down in space. So let's create that plot. And the first one I'm going to put down, let's see. Now, my plan is to sort of put these down right through here. And the idea is, as ships are coming in, if they start to get attacked, it will give them a nearby location where they can dock and get away. And of course, the defense station will be right there to shred any enemies that should come through. So let's go ahead and put one right about, we'll put our first one right about here. Again, right in the line, because it won't be hard to miss, that's for sure. But let's see what we need in order to make that happen. So our admin center, we can actually build that now. We have everything we need. there are a few things that I'm sure we're missing. Let me take a look. All right, for the shipbuilding, we're missing the medium biome. Okay, so that's what we're missing. The medium, that's what I need to actually purchase. So let's come back out. Let's talk to our guy.
To see you here.
I appreciate that. You are always so nice when I come and see you, particularly now that I'm plus 20. So 14.2 million credits. This will allow us to put people on a station to do various jobs. So you can see we're spending some money.
Good profit to you.
All right, so now let's get busy building this station. So we're going to, actually I'm going to get out of this screen. You can use this screen for it, but I kind of prefer to use this main screen. And we'll go stations and subordinates. Let's go ahead and scroll back in on our factory there. And I am going to plan build, load plan, the admin and defense center. All right, so let's look at this. This is a very, very basic module that I have, and we'll have several of these. So we've got our administrative center that we saw earlier in the blueprints. That's this mushroom looking biome on the top, along with we've got a bridge defense platform and a disc platform. And I've got one of these going in every direction. So now what we need to do is make sure that we have the loadouts correct. For these, I might need to make a few more purchases before we can do that. So if we look over here on the changed modules, you see this pencil icon. This is the edit icon, and this means that we can put either turrets and or shields on this particular one. So the bridge platform, let's go ahead and hop in here. And we don't have any large, oh, the beam turret is what it's looking for. Okay, because I have used those in the past. We will not be using those this time. So let's see, we need a large turret, and then medium, we've got some turrets. All right, so we need a large turret.
It's an honor to see you here.
I'm going to go ahead and buy the Talati version. That's generally not the version I get of these turrets, but I think it should work. All right, so here are our large turrets. The beam turret is what I normally have been going with. It's going to be, I'm thinking plasma. That's what I'm thinking here. Of course, we don't want a mining turret for sure. The dumbfire, we don't want to do that because those are so hard to restock the missiles. Plasma is, or the pulse. Let's go, I tell you what, let's go both of these. Those will be good because I'll put some on each. That'll be pretty good, I think.
Good profit to you.
I do not know which one is best. I don't have all the answers on that. Again, I shy away from the combat mostly in this game. All right, so we didn't save before, so no problem. We'll go ahead and put this in. In fact, I'm going to leave it right here in the center because if we continue expanding, then it's probably going to be with these platforms, and I'll probably just keep going in those directions. We also have a little bit of storage for when we need it as well, and it gives us some additional turrets if we want those as well. All right, so let's go ahead and hop in here. For this first module, I'm going to put plasma, and there's 4 of those. And there you can see. So we got 4 plasma there, and I'm going to put shields. We got 1 Mark II shield right there in the middle. Those are your medium turrets that we'll get to in a moment, but yeah, you can put a lot on one of these. Okay, the second one, I'm going to put pulse on that one. Okay, and then we get to our medium turrets. The flak I have read that is very good for fighters, the small fighters. All right, let's go ahead. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Oh, we were inside the Talati module. Yeah, that won't work. All right, so the medium, I'm going to put some flak on here, and again, the shield. I'm going to put a couple of flak, and then I'm going to go bolt on a couple of these. Again, I am certainly no expert. I may be doing the exact wrong thing, but I did a little bit of reading, and quite honestly, got a lot of different answers for the same question, so maybe we'll be okay. So once again, large turrets here. We're going to put plasma, and you see immediately they fill in right there. All 4 of them. The other one, we're going to put pulse and our shields. And this time we're going to do, on this one I'm going to do no flak. I'm going to do bolt here on a couple, and then I'm going to do plasma on a couple. Because really, if we're having to attack a lot of things, probably fighters are not going to be the biggest issue that we have, would be my guess. The bigger ships are what we're going to have to deal with more often. So once again, let's see. Let's do plasma on the first one with all 4 of those. And then the second one we'll do pulse. And then here we'll do flak, or excuse me, bolt. I'll do flak on the middle 2. And then we'll do plasma. So trying to mix it up a little bit, just in case I am dead wrong on which turrets are best. Maybe we'll mix in enough of the ones that are decent that we can get by with it. All right, so again, let's go ahead on this one. Let's put plasma. We'll do flak, and plasma here as well. And now I'm going to lose track of where we are down the list here. Okay, we have not done this one. So once again, plasma here. And look at those shield generators, 4 of them. I absolutely love that. Love these disc platforms. So again, here you can see these are your shields. These are your medium. These are your large. 10 of them, in case you're wondering. 10. It's going to be expensive to build these, no doubt. However, I'm good with it. In fact, let's go ahead and look. Yep, they're underneath as well. Oh, I am so happy right now. I love building things, and this definitely counts as building things. Now here, I'm actually going to do just bolt on all of these. We'll just do bolt on all of that. Make sure we got our shields. All right, get that. Let's see, have we done this one? Yes, we did. We just did that one. It is so hard for me to figure out where we are. I'm going to keep clicking on the same one, I think. All right, there we go. So let's do plasma. And again, lots and lots of shields. All right, so let's do the first one. We'll do the flak. Actually, we'll do 2 of them with flak. And then I'm going to do plasma on the other 2. All right, where are we? I think we're right here. No, we are not. No, we are not. And this is great. All right, so the last one. No, we have not done this one. All right, let me get this back up here because I love to watch these things fill in. All right, this time we're going to do pulse. 10 pulses. And of course, our 4 shields. It is a little bit weird to me that we use medium shields on the large with the large turrets. Anyway, hey, whatever works. And then we're just going to do, let's see, where do we want to go here? Let's just do plasma on all of these. So again, just trying to mix it up a little bit, making sure that we have everything done. And then our storage right here in the front. We got turrets for it as well. And that's where I'm going to put some flak out here on these and make sure we get all of them filled up. Again, keep in mind we got this white line at the bottom that shows us that we've gotten everything done. So these are just going to be all flak. Just in case we get a bunch of fighters that come in, we'll at least have some way. And this one will be all bolt. Hopefully I have varied this enough. Now my favorite turret to use is the laser turret, the beam turret. However, from what I read, it's basically useless as far as the damage it does. So we'll just have to deal with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and confirm these. So we save it. And then we got, again, plenty of room to expand in the future should the need arise. Now, here's everything that we're going to need. We need to hire a builder. And so as we scroll out, take a look over here on the side. These builders, where is this builder? I'm trying to find him on the map. He is not otherwise busy. This guy is already working for us. So we'll hire him. That's 50,000 credits. And so boom, he'll make his way over to the construction site and begin the process. All right, awesome. So what'll happen here is as guys are obviously coming in or leaving, they will have an opportunity should somebody be chasing them, whether it's one of the pirates here in system or what the case might be. But if they're getting chased, they will have somewhere they can seek refuge. And my plan is to probably put another one like right over here as well. And then probably a few more over in this area also. So we've got some of these that I plan on putting down. So now that we need to rename this thing. All right, so let's do KPG. All right, let's do center, and we'll just call it 1 for lack of a better term right now. And it tells us that our construction budget is going to be around 7 million. Now, the good thing is, if our own supply vessels take care of it, it doesn't cost us anything out of this particular builder budget. It'll simply be taken out of my budget. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, let's do about 4 million in here. And then it's probably not going to be used, not very much of it at all. And then whenever the construction is done, I'll simply take the money back out if it were not needed. All right, so let's see. Preferred method. Let's go talk. Oh, we can't give him individual instructions yet because we're not to that point of completion. We need a dock first before we can do that. But I'll be wanting to change his instructions, which will tell him exactly when and who to fire upon as necessary. So we're in good shape there. We've got our first admin center built. And remember, as soon as this one gets built, then we will have control of the sector. This border will change from this grayish color to our faction green. So everything is now in order. And the good news is we have enough income coming that we're still at 127 million. So I will continue the process, folks. We are going a long way, and we're getting there actually pretty quickly. So a lot of money coming in, a lot of ships being built, a lot of stations being built. Things are progressing right along. So thank you guys so much for joining me. When we come back next time, who knows what trouble I might have gotten us into this time around. So thank you guys for joining me, and stick around for more X4 Foundations.